Good afternoon, Europe, and welcome to Brussels, a city famous for chocolate, surreal art, complicated politics, and this year for hosting Planetvision Song Contest 2026.
It honestly still feels surreal to say that out loud. Last year was such an emotional journey for the artists, for the fans, and especially for Belgium.
Absolutely. Monaco took the crown with an unforgettable victory, but Belgium said, "All right, everyone, if you can't host, we'll take care of it."
And we are so proud to welcome the world here today.
Last year's edition gave us powerful performances, dramatic voting moments, and one of the most exciting finishes in Planetvision history. Florence and our friends from Italy delivered a great edition last year, and we are so proud to be the next in taking the honor of hosting this beautiful event that really unites us through music.
For me personally, representing Belgium and finishing third was something I'll carry forever. I felt the love from across Europe and beyond, and today I get to stand here helping launch a new edition of this incredible contest.
From competitor to now being hosting, that's what we call a glow-up.
Much less stress today, though. This year's journey to the Planetvision Trophy will begin with two semifinals. Semifinal 1 will take place on April 7th, and Semifinal 2 follows on April 9th.
In each show, 12 countries will qualify for the grand final. They'll join the 6 countries already guaranteed a place in the final, making 30 finalists who will compete for victory on June 14th at the ING Arena in Brussels. Let's start the draw by taking a moment to acknowledge the 6 countries already qualified to the grand final thanks to last year's results: Monaco, Canada, Belgium, Kosovo, Vatican City, and the Netherlands. These countries won't compete in the semifinals, but they will still be allocated today to a semifinal where they will vote and appear during the live shows.
We are starting the draw by this pot, containing 6 tubes, because as said, there are 6 countries that are already qualified for the grand final. These countries also have to vote in the semifinal, 3 of them on the semifinal 1 and other 3 in the semifinal 2. For drawing these countries into the semifinals they are voting in, we decided to make a little change to make things easier. We will draw these countries in alphabetical order into a semifinal.
Yes, let's keep things easier. Let's start up first by Canada, and then lucky us Belgium and our friends from Monaco.
So, Canada will vote at the semifinal 2.
Kosovo will vote in the semifinal 1.
Now we are heading to the Netherlands. They will vote in the semifinal 1 as well.
Vatican City goes next, and they will vote in the semifinal 2.
Let's move to host country Belgium. They will vote in the semifinal 1.
And last but not least, last year's winners, Monaco. They will vote in the semifinal 2.
The first part of the draw, it's completed. We know in which semifinal will vote the professional juries from the already qualified countries. Let's take a look back at how this ended up. In the semifinal 1, happening on the April 7th, will vote Kosovo, the Netherlands, and Belgium.
At the semifinal 2 happening on April 9th, will vote Canada, Vatican City, and Monaco.
All remaining participating countries are going through the mentioned semifinals. These countries, which are a total of 40, have been divided into 5 pots. Each pot contains 8 countries, grouped together based on previous voting patterns. This helps avoid countries with strong connections all competing in the same semifinal.
Basically, make sure both shows stay balanced, unpredictable, and exciting, and also increases suspense in the semifinals.
So, let's roll into it. Now here's how today's draw will happen. We'll begin with pot 1 and continue all the way through to pot 5. And instead of assigning everything at once, we'll work in rounds. First, we'll do a full round for semifinal 1. Each country drawn for semifinal 1 will immediately be placed into either the first half or second half of that show.
Once that's complete, we'll move to semifinal 2 again, deciding first half or a second half for every country. Then back to semifinal 1, And we keep alternating until all 40 competing countries are allocated, which means by the end 20 countries will compete in each semifinal. It sounds simple, but I promise you, somewhere a delegation manager is already sweating.
Probably blaming us in advance? All right, the moment has arrived. Let's start the draw.
The first country is Croatia.
Croatia will perform in the first half of the semi-final one.
San Marino.
San Marino will perform on the second half of the semi-final one.
The land of IKEA and meatballs, Sweden.
Sweden will perform on the second half of the semi-final one.
Last year's hosts, Italy.
Italy will perform on the second half as well.
And the last country from this first round is Mexico.
Our Mexican friends will perform on the first half of the semi-final one.
Let's move now to the semi-final two.
Greece will perform on the second half of the semi-final two.
Andorra.
Andorra will perform on the second half as well.
Next is Norway.
Norway will perform on the first half of the semi-final two.
Next country is Chile.
Chile will perform on the first half of the semi-final two.
And the last country from this round is Japan.
Japan will perform on the first half of the semi-final two.
Let's move to the semi-final one again. The next country to be allocated is North Macedonia.
North Macedonia will perform on the second half of the semi-final one.
Luxembourg.
Luxembourg will perform in the first half of the semi-final one.
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar will perform on the second half of the semi-final one.
Portugal.
Portugal will perform on the first half of the semi-final one.
And going to perform on the semi-final one is Philippines.
The Philippines will perform on the second half of the semi-final one.
Let's unveil the next countries performing at the semi-final two, starting by Bulgaria.
Bulgaria will perform at the first half of the semi-final two.
Germany.
Germany will perform on the second half of the semi-final two.
Finland.
Finland will perform on the second half of the semi-final two.
New to the Planetvision family is Uruguay.
Debuting country Uruguay to perform on the first half of the semi-final two.
And Romania.
Romania will perform on the second half of the semi-final two.
Let's switch back to the semi-final one. Next country is Armenia.
Armenia to perform on the first half of the semi-final one.
The next country is Hungary.
Hungary will perform on the first half of the semi-final one.
Next country is Cyprus.
Cyprus to perform on the first half of the semi-final one too.
Next country is Jordan.
Jordan will perform in the second half of the semi-final one.
Thailand.
Thailand will perform on the first half of the semi-final one.
We are going now for the semi-final two, starting by Ukraine.
Ukraine is going to perform on the second half of the semi-final two.
Austria.
Austria will perform on the first half of the semi-final two.
Isle of Man.
Isle of Man will perform on the first half of the semi-final two.
Malta!
Malta will perform on the second half of the semi-final 2.
And now we got Taiwan.
Taiwan will perform on the first half of the second semi-final.
Let's move now to the last round for the semi-final one, and there will be Moldova.
Moldova will perform on the first half of the semi-final 1.
The land of croissants, La France.
France will perform on the second half of the semi-final 1.
Next is Ireland.
Ireland will perform in the second half of the semi-final 1.
Morocco.
Morocco will perform on the first half of the semi-final 1.
And the last country that will be in the semi-final one will be the United States.
And the United States will be performing on the second half of the semi-final 1.
Let's draw now the remaining countries for the semi-final 2. Albania.
Albania will perform on the second half of the semi-final 2.
Next country is Poland.
Poland will perform on the second half of the semi-final 2.
Next country is the United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom will perform on the first half of the semi-final 2.
España.
Spain will perform on the first half of the semi-final 2.
And there's one country left, which is Australia.
And Australia will perform on the second half of the semi-final 2. And that completes the semi-final allocation draw for the Planetvision Song Contest 2026.
Let's take a look on how the draw ended up. Croatia, Mexico, Luxembourg, Portugal, Armenia, Hungary, Cyprus, Thailand, Moldova, and Morocco will perform on the first half of the semi-final 1.
On the other hand, San Marino, Sweden, Italy, North Macedonia, Gibraltar, Philippines, Jordan, France, Ireland, and the United States will perform on the second half of the semi-final 1.
Then, Norway, Chile, Japan, Bulgaria, Uruguay, Austria, Isle of Man, Taiwan, United Kingdom, and Spain will perform on the first half of the semi-final 2.
And Greece, Andorra, Germany, Finland, Romania, Ukraine, Malta, Albania, Poland, and Australia will perform on the second half of the semi-final 2.
Remember that these are not the final running orders for the semi-finals. Those will be revealed later on.
And that would be everything for today. Thanks for joining, and see you in Brussels on April 7th and 9th.
And of course in the grand final on June 14th. Goodbye.